knows it's the beginning of a journey they're hoping will end in a third successive FA Cup final. Doku into the corner and City lead by a goal to nil. On it goes to Matchday across the face of the goal and turned in for his first ever Manchester City goal by Dibin Mubamba. Still with Doku. Doku plays it in low. O'Reilly 3-0. A first ever City goal for Nicky O'Reilly. Doku in the right wing position, McAtee 5! That's a fabulous goal, and Pep Guardiola applauds it. Gundogan to Grealish in the penalty area. In it goes and slid into the net, and it's a hat-trick for James McAtee. City 8, Salford City now. Grealish now on the edge of the area. City have got chances, but they haven't converted. Lewis on the edge. It's taken a deflection. It's 1-1. Now De Bruyne in the penalty area. De Bruyne! 2-1! KDB with a finish. It's Leyton Orient 1, City 2. Bruyne bends it. O'Reilly 1-1. Nicky O'Reilly pops up with a header right on half-time. City's 19th corner whipped in. O'Reilly's on the far. Nicky O'Reilly. What were the odds on him scoring a brace today? And Haaland saved again by Hazard. Breaks again for Haaland. Haaland now back and De Bruyne prods it over the line. And City have a third and the FA Cup quarter-finals beckon.
Very good afternoon to you and welcome to Matchday Live. We are on the South Coast, and a sunny South Coast you can see there, for the FA Cup quarter-final as we take on Bournemouth. It is a 4:30pm kickoff UK time. Pep's there already. He's enjoying a moment of peace, it looks like, on the Bournemouth bench. And of course, FA Cup day again. Pep Guardiola loves the FA Cup. But in the FA Cup is absolutely incredible. We'll be bringing you the full team news very shortly, but you always know that I like to get myself in trouble and to just give you a little drop of something. Well, I can tell you, don't tell anybody. Between me and you, Kevin De Bruyne starts today. He is captain. So Kev is back today. Now, this is the first ever FA Cup meeting between Bournemouth and Manchester City. We have won our last 7 FA Cup quarter-final ties. My goodness, what an incredible, incredible record. Right, let's do the full team news for you right now. Here is Manchester City's starting 11 for today. And Ederson returns to the starting 11 in the FA Cup. And then it is Mateus Nunes. Oh, that man cussing off. You love him, we love him. Ruben Diaz. And then he is back. Virgil, I was nervous that he was going to be injured, but he is back. And then it is Ilkay Gundogan. Joining him in the middle, Mateo Kovacic. And our captain for today is Kevin De Bruyne. Now, Bernardo Silva, this is where we start thinking. I presume he's out wide. And on the other side, it's that man, Phil Foden. And then starting up top, of course, it is Erling Haaland. Now, your subs bench is Ortega, Marmoush, Grealish, Doku, Nico, Heish, O'Reilly, Lewis and McAtee. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to Matchday Live on FA Cup Day. It is the FA Cup quarter-final. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you are around the world. A place at Wembley for the winners today. And of course, we are joined in the studio by 2 men that know all about winning at Wembley. Shout out to our 99 heroes, Nicky Weaver and Paul Dickov. Good afternoon, gents.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Paul? I immediately look at you, the most optimistic City fan I know. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to lie to you. A little tiny bit nervous about today. Only because I think Bournemouth are a really good team. Difficult to play against. Got some good players going forward, but looking at that team there, the experience that's in it, the quality that's in it. FA Cup quarter-final, it's the one trophy we've got left to win. Makes it even more important. So I'm sure the lads and the experienced lads especially will be up for this.
Now, Paul, the FA Cup semi-final cup draw has just happened this second at the end of the Villa-Preston game. So should we beat Bournemouth, we know that our opponents at Wembley would be Nottingham Forest. My heart just sank a little bit. Paul, Nick, what if we get through? What do you make of that draw?
Yeah, today's obviously going to be a really tough game. Looking forward, if we were to get through Nottingham Forest, another tough game. Obviously, they beat us a few weeks ago, so yeah. But I think when you get to this stage of the competition, you're going to have tough games, and you've got to beat the best teams in the competition. And it won't be easy, but the opportunity is there for us to go and win it.
We'll park that for a minute because obviously that is a long game away. Hopefully we can talk about that post-match. Aston Villa have beaten Preston North End 3-0 in the other quarter-final that was taking place today. That was 2 goals for Marcus Rashford, interestingly. But let's park all of that. Let's concentrate on this quarter-final game, City taking on Bournemouth. So the team news is out there, Paul. You mentioned it there. Interesting for me, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne back in the starting 11. You told me that you had been keeping an eye on him over the international break for Belgium and you were impressed with what you saw.
Yeah, I think he was man of the match in both their games, getting assists. But look, he's a quality player and he's been stop-start for him last couple of seasons, but the quality's in there for me. He's still one of the best in the world in that position, and I just think the experience that Pep's put in the team today, he knows it's a big game, he knows it's going to be difficult down there, and looking with Kova, Gundo, Phil and Bernardo as well, it looks as if he's going to want to control the ball, because Bournemouth like to go man for man. They like to make the game 100 miles an hour and how they play, and sometimes that affects how the other team plays, so it looks as if ball retention, keeping the ball and being patient today is going to be really important.
Yeah, we know from watching Bournemouth this season, we know how good they've been, Nick. They press really high, they win a lot of turnovers, they like to get you on the counter. Given the team selection today, how do you see that countering that?
Yeah, obviously Pep learnt a lot from when we played there earlier on in the season and obviously got beat. Pep will want a lot of the ball, as he always does, and the players they've got in there that will keep the ball. We've got a lot of creativity, and can we carve out some chances from Erling Haaland? Obviously we've been quite free scoring in the FA Cup compared to the league, it'd be nice to not just rely on Erling for the goals. There is a lot of creativity in there, and also the bench is quite, if you need that bit of pace, because there's not loads and loads of pace in that starting 11, but you've got obviously Mamouche and Doku on the bench if you need to inject some pace for the last half an hour. So yeah, listen, it's a game that we expect City to sort of control possession wise, but we've got to be really careful because Bournemouth are they're a good team and a really dangerous team, and we've seen how susceptible City can be to pacey teams on the counter, so that's something we've got to be aware of. But yeah, going into the game pretty confident, but it's going to be a tough game, that is for sure.
Yeah, when you look at the bench, and it's a great position to be in, Paul, now that we've got the new signings and they've bedded in. You look at the bench and, Marmouche, Doku, Nico, they're all going to be disappointed that they've not started today. Looking at the people, obviously, that have replaced them, we presume it's going to be Foden and Bernardo out on the wings, maybe interchanging, who knows? And then, of course, Kovacic and Gundogan joining Kev in the middle is what we are guessing. For you, what does that setup say in terms of our opponents today?
I think that with Kova and Gundogan there, usually we have one sitter. I can imagine both of them sitting in just to give protection to the back four, because you've got Kluivert, you've got Evan Nilsson, Semenyo, who are really quick on the break as well. So just maybe a little bit of security for the back four with them sitting in there. But then obviously when we're going forward, one of them will step in and get Kevin a bit further up the pitch to try and create a little bit more than what we have been.
Of course, Marmouche scored the last time out as well, so. And he's going to be particularly disappointed not to be starting. But like Nick just said, Paul, it's great to have him on the bench there. If we need to have the speed of Doku and of Marmouche to come off the bench at a certain point in the game, that's going to be a real positive for us.
Yeah, it is, and Jackson there as well. Nico O'Reilly's got 3 goals in the FA Cup already this season. I think the team that's out there is more than good enough to go and win it.
Yeah, I think Nico O'Reilly is probably the standout player in the FA Cup this year for City, so he'll be disappointed. But yeah, there's plenty of options from the bench if things aren't going to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's hope, it does all does go to plan. Now, my biggest worry about this game for you both, obviously, is we keep mentioning how good Bournemouth are in terms of we know that they like to break, we know how fast they are, we know how aggressive they are, we know how dangerous they're going to be on the counter. We know that we have been a little bit susceptible at the back this season in comparison to other seasons. So if we're looking at the back four, Nick, we have, of course, Nunes, who we're going to presume is filling in on that right-back position that's been difficult for us to fill, obviously, since Kyle left. Kushinov, who we've just all fallen in love with, Ruben Diaz, and, of course, Vardio. How do you think that defence is going to cope?
Yeah, obviously you've got the pace of Nunes and Kushinov, and he, as you said there, everyone's sort of fallen in love with him. He likes to defend. He's shown loads of pace. Still new to the English game, so he's learning all the time. Then over the other side, we've got the experience of Diaz and Guardiola. Yeah, so defensively looks good, and like Dicky said earlier, they might just have two sitters in there just to give them a bit of extra security with them being so good on the break. So yeah, listen, it's going to be. It's almost you want to stop the ball at source. You don't want it to get to where they can counter. They won't. I don't think City will commit too many men forward, particularly early on in the game. And people like David Brooks are really creative as well. So and they've got the pace that Dicky's already mentioned. So yeah, it's going to be a game where we'd like to get some control, particularly early in the game. We don't want it to go sort of ding dong and be a basketball match, because as we've shown this year, this season we've got at times a bit of a soft underbelly. So hopefully we can keep a clean sheet today.
You're so right, because when I was thinking about the game when I was driving here, a basketball end-to-ending is exactly what I envisioned in my head for this game, because of how quick they are in the break, and of course because of how good we are in attack as well. I kind of envisioned that's the way it would be. But then perhaps if we go back to what you said earlier, Paul, about Gundogan and Cover and Kevin, that's probably the point of that, to try and stop that ding-dong.
They're going to have to control the game. Yeah, because if it's going to be ding dong, as we've said, I nearly burst out laughing.
I like it. I'm going to say ding dong now.
That's what Bournemouth want. They want it to be frantic. They want it to be a hectic game. So I think Evan, Kevin, Cover, and Phil, Gundo.
I think a lot of teams want that against City now, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's sort of what you don't want is City sort of settling into the game, getting the rhythm, getting all the patterns going, and then they can sort of dominate you. Teams want to get in, ruffle the feathers a little bit, and turn it into a ding dong.
A ding dong. That's the word of the day today. A ding dong ding.
Two words.
Yeah, 2 words of the day. I want to talk for a minute about Phil Foden, of course, back in the starting 11 today. Best player in the Premier League by a mile last season. Picked up every award going last season. Obviously, we know that he's dropped off a little bit this year, but I mean, to maintain that incredible level is something else for a 24-year-old. He's done it for so long already. Over the international break, he took a bit of a flack for his performances for England. It feels like the England fans have never given him perhaps the credit he's deserved. Given that he's taken flack over the last couple of weeks, Paul, do you think that'll affect him at all, or do you think he'll be happy back playing in the safety of a blue shirt?
Yeah, I think he'll be happy, and he'll be more determined to go and prove people wrong. I think the criticism he took in England in both games weren't great, especially the first game, the Albania game. I thought it was so boring to watch. I actually fell asleep as I was watching it, but Phil seemed to be the scapegoat in that. For what he's done, somebody so young. Has he got 6 Premier Leagues at 24? It's just ridiculous.
18 trophies or something like that, yeah.
Wow. I know, and then he comes on in the second game and gets an assist as well. So he'll put that behind him now, and as he said, back in the comfort of his teammates now, and he'll be looking to put in a really good performance today, because he's a top quality player. And people are saying England didn't perform well. He's not performing well for the club, but City haven't been performing well this season, and it seems to be because he's been so successful, and because he won the Player of the Year last year, he seems a bit of an easy target, and people forget that he's been out injured. He was ill for a bit, he's been out injured, he's struggled to get a bit of rhythm like a lot of the players have in the team this season. It takes time for that to come, but there's no doubt in his quality, and I hope he goes out there and shuts everyone up today.
Oh, exactly what I was thinking, Paul. I hope he has the man of the match performance and leaves them all crying.
Yep.
That's what we like.
Absolutely, and he will.
Yes.
And he will.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think he'll be playing? We'll presume he's going to be playing out wide today.
Yeah, we played out. Obviously, we know he does like to play more of a central role at times, but quite often he finds himself out wide. But listen, before this season, I think last year I was talking about potential Ballon d'Or winners at City, and I think him and Erling Haaland are that, and Phil Foden, he's so good, and I think he's become a bit of a victim of his own success, because he's set his standards so high. Everyone expects him to do that. Same with City, really. Everyone expects it to be week in, week out, and still massive contribution to City this season. And he occupies defenders. Sometimes they double up on him, and he can, he can score a goal, he can assist, he can change games. So yeah. He's not had the season of last year, but he was never really going to. And yeah, he gets a lot of unfair criticism, and he got criticised when he was away on international duty. But I think, once you go away on international duty, everything's focused on that. As soon as you come back, that's sort of parked until next time. And like you say, he's back in the comfort of a City shirt now, and hopefully has a good game today and flourishes.
I think it's a stroke of genius from Pep as man management in playing him today as well. Because if he had left him out,
there'd be more made of it, wouldn't they? And,
he'd be on the bench, outside noise will be more made of it. Phil might be thinking himself, I've took all this stick, I'm back in the bench again. But now I think put him in the team, Pep's saying, look, I trust you, I believe in how good you are, so go and show everybody else.
That's so true, yeah. You're safe here, we love you here. Go and shine like
absolutely.
You do. Can't wait to see him today. We know we mentioned Kevin De Bruyne a bit earlier, but I've got a stat I wanted to share with you both. Kevin De Bruyne has been involved in 13 goals in his last 10 appearances in the FA Cup. 3 goals and 10 assists, both scoring and assisting on the 3-1 win against Plymouth Argyle in the 5th round. So official, Kevin De Bruyne loves the FA Cup. We love Kevin De Bruyne. It's a match made in heaven, Nick.
Absolutely. Listen, his influenced games. He scored the winner down at Orient, the game that me and Dicky did. And he gets the 3rd goal here against Plymouth. And yeah, listen, there's no doubt in his quality. He's obviously not as, sort of sharp as he perhaps were 4 or 5 years ago, but he's still got a massive contribution to make to City. And it could influence games because, the quality's still there. And yeah, we love Kevin De Bruyne. And yeah, when the day comes he does leave City, it'll be a very sad day because his contribution over the last sort of 10 years has been just immense, really, and for me, he's probably been the best player in the Premier League since he came to the Premier League.
Like that.
I don't think anyone's won more than him. And he's still got a huge part to play. People are writing him off. Listen, when you get to 33, whatever, mother time does catch up with you, but he can still influence games and he's still got a lot to offer.
His football IQ is off the scale.
Yeah,
people might say he might have lost half a yard, but he makes up for that by how quickly he thinks, and there's no doubt from now to the end of the season he's going to be massive for us and hopefully into next season as well.
By the way, Paul, Nick's dropping some bombs on this show today. Yeah, ding-dongs and best player ever since signed in the Premier League. He's come today meaning business, Paul.
Hasn't he?
We like it.
Well,
we look forward to the next half an hour, Nick, no pressure. We're going to go over now because, of course, we've got FG and Michael Brown. They're down on the south coast, and from what I hear, they have peeled themselves away from the beach. They've put their ice creams down for 2 minutes to do some work. So, over to FG and Michael Brown, who are going to give us the Bournemouth team news.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome to Bournemouth. Welcome back to the FA Cup quarter-finals. Joining me pitchside, as always, Mr. Michael Brown. Brownie, we've just seen the Manchester City team news, and one thing that we've taken straight away is the experience within the side.
Yeah, very, very experienced, as expected. We obviously were here, weren't we, in the Premier League? A very, very disappointing day. Obviously, there was lots of injuries, lots of people who really couldn't get through those 90 minutes, and we were here, weren't we, started to explain, see what we could do, why it went wrong. But now, we've had a nice break. International has been here and gone, and now an opportunity. FA Cup semi-final has been an interesting weekend. We also know the draw, which you can announce in a second. But yeah, experience all around. Gundogan, Kovacic, Kevin De Bruyne in the middle of the pitch. That tells you everything. Being around it, Bernardo, Phil Foden, however way we'll look, maybe Phil Foden on the left, Bernardo on the right, can help the fullbacks. That's going to be important because they're high energy, the spin, turn you around is quite compact here. It's a lovely day for football. We're looking forward to it.
It's a lovely day. We've been waiting 2 weeks to see Manchester City return. Nottingham Forest to wait for us if we win here.
There you go, you got it in.
There's the official news there. Brownie touched on it. But of course, we've got another team that we're playing, Bournemouth, who of course we've had a difficult performance here before. Let's reveal to you the Bournemouth team news, and then we'll continue with our segment here. So in goal is Kepa, and then it's a start for Cook, Senesi, Brooks, Evan Nilsson, Christie, Adams, Cliver, Julio Cesar, Semenyo, Zaberni. What was that, sorry?
Zabani,
yeah, I was close, right? But I mean, looking at their team as well, one thing that stands out for Bournemouth is the fullback being suspended. Kirkes has been massive to them. He's been fantastic for the majority of the season for them. Unfortunately, from a Bournemouth perspective, he's suspended today. they do use their fullbacks a lot as well in their system.
Yeah, young lad coming in, Soler, it's going to be a big game for him. So that's one area where you're going to push, target, put him under pressure. Because what Kirkes does, he's been a wonderful signing. Recruitment's been good here for some time now. He gets right up the pitch. He joins in, good deliveries, also can make that underlap into areas, forward running, the high energy. Obviously, Hussein has been good as well at centre-back, so they've accumulated too many bookings. That's not ideal, is it, when you come into a quarter-final? I can't talk too much about that because I had a couple as well. But yeah, that's a big blow for them. Senesi comes back in, obviously he'll slot right back in, he's been injured. So I think it's a really strong outfit, a Bournemouth side who have had to change, had a lot of injuries, but reacted very, very well. And you've seen how well they are doing in the Premier League. This is a difficult game, but it's an exciting one. It's a game we can definitely go on and win.
It is an exciting game indeed. Let's touch on that. We've said it's a difficult place to come. City have had moments here where they've struggled, in particular earlier on in the season. But the thing that you take from the performance earlier on in the season was that City stayed in the game. They didn't perhaps play very well, but they stayed in the game, and there's got to be some confidence from that.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think you can look at former games, different sides that you've come up against. I think this is different. It's a cup tie. How you approach it is obviously a different scenario, and I don't think we want to worry about those days when we were here because we understood the whole back line was struggling, seeing midfield area as well. So you have to understand it was one of those situations where we couldn't control. So we've got players in, we've got a good strong squad there available, all coming back off a break for international. Some players have been here and there, and that's natural, but having the extra day, I feel like that'll suit Manchester City. We can go on. It's just whether the fans are going to turn up on time, because I've been down the seafront today. The beach was absolutely sensational. It was incredible. The water was still, it was all flat, so whoever's had a walk down there, I had a run and a bit of a walk, jumped in the CFG. It's a lovely day, isn't it? It's fantastic being down here.
You can tell Brownie's happy. I mean, this man actually scored a goal during the international break as well.
Oh, thank you.
A goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, was it? Some people just don't lose it, do they?
Or something, you never had it. I don't know where that come from.
I was actually going to say some people have never had it, speaking about myself. But yeah, check out Brownie's goal if you get the chance. We've just panned over to the away section there. It's a more extended...
You didn't mention Pirlo or Cafu in that game. That was good, wasn't it? Against AC Milan. Just thought I'd mention it. It was nice to play against him.
Not so bad, eh?
Yeah, it was really
Scoring
good.
a goal there as
well.
well.
I'll let you get into the more important stuff.
Yeah, more Manchester City fans here today. So our normal away section is on the right-hand side. But behind us there, the first bit that we pan to is an extra bit as part of the FA Cup, which is absolutely amazing. We love the FA Cup. We're one game away from Wembley. And it's a pleasure to be pitchside with a goal scorer.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys, for peeling yourselves away from the beach and doing some work for us today. We appreciate that, FG and Michael Brown there. So that is the Bournemouth team news. If you missed it, they've made 3 changes from their last game, which was a defeat to Brentford. Dean Huijsen and Milos Kerkez both suspended for the game. They clocked up too many yellow cards, which I think both of them very much goes in our favour. So Soler and Senesi come back in. For Senesi, that's his first game since November after injury, and Brooks is in for Tavernier. So the Bournemouth team arriving there. Just to update you as well on the women, they're currently playing Brighton away in the WSL. But they've been on the beach as well this morning, and it's still 1-0. Kirsten Kasperai with the only goal of the game so far. We will update you when that goes to full-time. Obviously, that would be a big win for City in the WSL today, keeping the pressure on the top 3. So, Bournemouth players arriving there. We've... Well, people have been giving Bournemouth props all season, well-deserved props, given this sort of how well they've done this season, the type of football that they play as well. Very attractive football to the neutral. You know, everybody in the world is going to be against us today, but we like that. That is all good. In terms of that Bournemouth team there, Paul, I mentioned the 2 players that are out suspended today, and the fact that that would go in our favour. Because Huijsen has had a great season. When I heard that he'd picked up so many yellow cards, I thought, great, good.
He's been outstanding. He's came from nowhere as well. You know, I think he made his debut for Spain as well. You know, at such a young age. His first real season in the Premier League. A lot of big clubs watching him, talking about a release clause in there. So, but he's been really good. Senesi will come in. He's got a lot of experience in there, but there's no doubt he'll be missed. And we've touched on it before. David Brooks is a wonderful footballer. So him coming in for Tavernier, I think might help them a little bit, because he likes to get in the ball, he likes to create things as well. So it's a strong team, but you know, I think sometimes we're kidding ourselves on it a little bit, saying how good Bournemouth are. You know, I look at our team down there as well. It's full of winners, Champions League winners, Premier League winners, full of quality players. And I think the experience thing that Pep's went with today, with it being away in the FA Cup as well, because these players know how to win FA Cup ties, and especially big FA Cup ties. So I think I want to concentrate more on us than I do Bournemouth.
Absolutely, I completely agree, Paul, except for the next 5 minutes, which is designated to talk about Bournemouth. But I completely agree on the fact that we are a very experienced team, whereas Bournemouth, Nick, Iriola's philosophy is almost youth. I mean, they've got I think it's the 4th youngest squad in the league. They've got a lot of young players. It's like he sees young players almost as a strength in the way that he plays.
Yeah, and it's how they've it's their model, you know, get players in when they're young, develop them, sell them on for big money. Because for for Bournemouth to survive in the Premier League as long as they have, in that, you know, getting 10,500, 11,000 every week, quite phenomenal, really. So they've got a really good model. They've got a young team, young manager that's done a phenomenal job, and they play some. I think they're almost. Everyone's still saying they're a surprise package in the league, but they're almost not, because they're that good, and it's sort of that consistent. You know how good they are. I think there's 4 points between us and them in the Premier League. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. But like Dicky said, we've got more than enough to go and win this game. And you know, we need to create chances for our forward players. Obviously, Erling Haaland, the main man up there. And if we take our chances, I'm convinced we'll win the game. But we've just got to be really tight at the back, because they've got dangerous players. As we're looking there at, I think that's Semenyo just scoring. So yeah, he's a real handful. So yeah, we're going to have to bring our A game, you know, down to the south coast, but we all know that we've got more than enough to win this game.
Yeah, I think the fact that it is young players, the way Iraola plays, he needs energy in there, and it needs youthful energy as well, doesn't it? And it's a lot easier to tell younger players and get them to buy into it if you want to press and play 100 miles an hour than it is maybe a 29, 30, 31-year-old, because maybe don't want to do it as much because they know that they can't. So the youthfulness in the team sort of mirrors how he wants to play.
They could almost be going into uncharted territory, because I don't think they've ever been beyond this in the FA Cup. So yeah, it's nice to see them doing well, but hopefully not today.
But to be fair, they've not been doing that well of late. But let's make Paul happy for a minute, Nick.
Yeah.
I think it's the last 4 that they've not won in. They are going through a lower patch, so perhaps a good time to play them.
It is. I think it was penalties the last round as well. Did they go through in penalties against Wolves? Was it?
Yes, they did against Wolves. Yeah.
So I think it's 5 games really over the 90 minutes that they've not won. So it just shows you, as much as it's great to talk about how well that they've done, but they're not in a great run of form at the minute, and you know, and there'll be a lot of pressure on them. So this will be the biggest game of a lot of these players' lives for Bournemouth today. I know, FA Cup quarter-final, looking at going to Wembley. Sometimes the nervous energy can take that out of you as well. You say you don't want to look too far ahead, but these players, a lot of them could be going to Wembley for the first time, and that'll be in the back of their heads as well. So there's a bit of pressure on them today. And I'll go back to it again. I think the experience, you know, especially midfield with Gunda, Kova and Kev, just to slow the game down a little bit and manage the game over the course of the 90 minutes is going to be key.
Absolute on pressure as well, because amazingly, although City will still be the bookies' favourite, all the run-up that I've been listening to the podcasts, the reading that I've been doing this week, people have almost written City off in this game. I don't think I've really seen anybody predict a City win for this game. You know, obviously they beat us in November as well, so the pressure really is on them.
Yeah, they're saying that, all right, they beat us in earlier on in the season, but that's the first time in their history that they've beaten us. Our record against Bournemouth has been fantastic. And, you know, these, talking about everybody saying that Bournemouth are going to win, and on the outside, the Bournemouth players will listen to that, don't they? And sometimes they start believing it and you start questioning it. And I'll go back to that nervous energy and mental energy, if you're not used to this sort of occasion, can affect you on the day, especially the way Bournemouth want to play.
When the draw happened, Dick, and it was an away game at Bournemouth, what was your instant reaction?
Well, I mean, obviously, the draw, I mean, Leyton Orient was a tough game early on in the competition, but then you got 2 favourable home draws in Salford and Plymouth. So at some point, you're going to have to, you know, go and face these top teams away. And, yeah, listen, it was always a tough draw, but we you know, teams should fear us. We don't fear other teams. You know, we go to Bournemouth as, you know, with the sort of experience of the FA Cup. I mean, our recent success in the FA Cup has been phenomenal, really. And yeah, so there's pressure on us in terms of it's the only trophy we can win this year. So there's pressure there, but you know, all the players in our lineup have been there and done it before. So where the Bournemouth players haven't. So yeah, there's probably equal pressure, but listen, I think City are huge favourites for this game. We're going to control the game, hopefully possession-wise. Take the chances when they come. The game's going to be won and lost in both boxes, and if we take our chances and be tight at the back, then I'm sure we'll come out on top.
Yeah, just in case you heard anything there, I just want you all to know my chair's really squeaky.
Are you sure?
It's my chair, Paul. It was my chair that was squeaking, just so everybody is really clear there. Thank you very much, Nick.
It did put me off my stride a little bit.
I know, I saw your face and I thought, it's my chair, Nick, it's my chair. Can we please, during the game, get some oil on this chair so nobody is doubting me? We spoke earlier in the week, of course, to our manager, Pep Guardiola, and here's what he had to say ahead of today's game.
No, I would not say they are chaotic. I would say that they have a specific way to play, like it works. They have done so far a really, really good season with the quality of the players they have, the ideas that they have. So, and of course, it will be boring football, and all the teams could play in the same way in all the leagues. So every team playing in their beliefs, in the way, a specific way, and they do it really, really well. And the whole team, the positional game will be there, and the other ones will be completely different, more direct, more transitional, more, lose the ball, win the ball, and run. So always other teams more direct, other teams more crosses. So, and you have to read the game tomorrow. We have an experience that the game we play, our first defeat in the Premier League this season, and try to reach the semi-final.
Final charge now until the end of the season. What are the goals? What do you want to see from your side between now and May?
Tomorrow, reach the semi-final of the FA Cup for 7 times in a row. This is the target, and of course after that, win games to qualify Champions League next season.
Would you rather hit the top 4 or win the FA Cup?
Win Bournemouth and after prepare Leicester. This is the target. When we achieved the record last season, the 6th time in a row semi-final, and most of the time we played the semi-final with the very, very bad conditions after Champions League game. It was difficult to deal, but arriving there, that means how important is this competition. So the most all one is so nice, the FA Cup. So that's why we took seriously, like we took in the past the Carabao Cup, winning 4 in a row. So could not be otherwise, So it's what you have to do. The results, we don't know, but take seriously is what you have to do. And of course, with the season we have, to come back to Wembley to play the semi-final, to try to reach, the final would be nice.
So that's Pep Guardiola speaking earlier this week. Before, of course, our game against Bournemouth today, 4:30 p.m. kick-off. You're seeing the sunny scenes there from the Vitality Stadium today. Of course, you can get full match commentary of today's game on the City app with Alistair Mann and with Michael Brown. Just to give you a quick update on the women as well, who are also down on the South Coast at Brighton. They're currently leading 2-0. A goal for Viviana Miedemar in the 90th minute should seal the 3 points for City and keep the pressure on the top 3. City 7 points behind third place Manchester United now. But of course, City still have a trip to United to come, so all to play for in the WSL. So Pep saying there, he was asked, would he rather win the FA Cup or finish 4th? And he did a lovely sidestep around the question. Well, I'm not going to let Paul Dickov or Nicky Weaver do any sidestepping. We want a firm answer in the studio. Nick, would you finish in the top 4, get the Champions League place, or finish outside the top 4 and win the FA Cup?
Listen, there's no reason why we can't do both, is there? But I just think in this day and age, it's so important to qualify for the Champions League with the money that's on offer. We're going to the Club World Cup and everything this year. So listen, the FA Cup's still huge, and I'm a massive fan of the FA Cup, and I believe in the magic of the FA Cup and all that. But I just think in this day and age, qualifying for the Champions League is so important.
OK, well done.
But there's no reason why we can't do both.
No sidestepping. I like it, Paul.
Both. I'm
Nope.
sidestepping.
Nope.
Look, Nicky's right. The FA Cup's fantastic, and I think for the fans being able to go to Wembley, Etihad South, and Pep saying there, if we managed to do it 7 years in a row is unbelievable. But the Champions League is the main one that we all want, and hopefully it's going to be a top 5, not just a top 4 this year as well. So I think if he had it at a push, and I think if you got Pep sat in the room and he was going to be honest with you, I think the Champions League would be the one.
So when Pep
agree.
eventually leaves City, when hopefully it's many, many years to come, he'll be judged on how many Premier Leagues he's won, and how many Champions Leagues he's won. Not the FA Cup's like an added bonus, but it won't define in the FA Cup. But still a massive game. And listen, I've grown up as a kid. FA Cup's huge, and I think in recent years, and I think Pep as well, he never. Always changed team around a little bit. He's never one for just putting all the kids in, even against Salford and Plymouth at home. He still plays really, really strong teams. So that shows you how much respect he's got for the competition as well.
I genuinely believe his answer, though, because that's what they do, isn't it? They take one game at a time. They won't be thinking about Leicester or Man United in the league next week. They'll be thinking, this is a quarter-final, we want to win this. And then it flips around again, Leicester on Wednesday night, to get into the top 4 and top 5.
I couldn't agree more. Completely agree as well with the Champions League, sadly. It takes no shine off the FA Cup, which for me is still unbelievably magical, and I'm desperate for us to go on and win. We have such an incredible record in the FA Cup, and it almost feels like that record, the shine's been taken off, or it's not been talked about enough because of how well we've done in the Premier League. But we've reached the quarter-finals and won in every season since 18-19. So for the last 6 seasons, we've qualified, we've got through to the semi-final. We've been to Wembley every year for the last 6 seasons. It's phenomenal. And we've had difficult draws. We beat Newcastle last year to get to the semi. The year before that we beat Burnley, then it was Southampton, Everton, Newcastle, Swansea to reach the semi-finals. If you exclude games that were played at Wembley, so take away the semi-final games, because obviously a couple of those we lost, we've won our last 27 games in the FA Cup.
Which is just phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal. And that shows you the teams that Pep's put out historically in this competition have been strong enough to win those games. And yeah, it's remarkable when I hear you say all those stats, it's remarkable how well they've done, and they've made it their own competition. I mean, at one bit they had sort of the League Cup boxed off, didn't they? And obviously in recent times it's been the FA Cup. So yeah, remarkable stats. And let's hope we had another one this year.
And those stats just prove the point that Nick just made, Paul, that how Pep respects this cup, how he puts out teams, he puts out a first team, puts out a team that he believes can win the game, and that is then represented in how well we've done over the last 6 years.
It is, and it just shows you there's a lot of clubs, a lot of sort of the top 4, top 5, top 6 teams maybe don't take it as seriously, but Pep always has done. He really respects the tradition and the English game, the tradition of the FA Cup, and it's another trophy that he wants to win. His success and the amount of trophies that he's won since he's been here and over his whole career is ridiculous. But I really do think, with this being the one sort of cup competition, one trophy that we can actually win today, will give them that impetus to really want to go and do it, and emphasise even more how important it is for them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Newcastle, obviously they won the League Cup a few weeks ago and they had the parade and everything, and what it means to them to win the League Cup, which is, secondary to the FA Cup. So winning a cup competition is still massive, and winning the FA Cup is still huge.
I loved their celebrations yesterday. I thought that's exactly what the League Cup needs, for a team to win it and to love it.
Just shows you what it means to people.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just seeing some shots there of Kusanov on the pitch. I wonder if the FA Cup magic has reached Uzbekistan. I imagine they are FA Cup mad today now.
They will be. Look, they're Kusanov mad over there.
They really are.
You know what I am? I absolutely love him. I thought he's been outstanding since he's come in. People are still, and I'm going to talk about it as well, talking about that first 5 minutes against Chelsea, but he's been unbelievable. I don't think he got enough credit because of the result, how he handled Vinny Jr. in the Bernabeu. I thought he was outstanding, and he has been. What I love about him, Nick touched on it at the very start, he loves to defend. He loves a tackle. He loves leaving a bit on players as well. And the more that he's got Ruben alongside him, creating that partnership is really going to help him as well. But he's already shown that he's a top centre-half. We all love him. City fans love him. Uzbekistan, he's a national hero over there through coming to the Premier League as well. And I think for somebody at 20 years old, imagine what he's going to be like when he's 24, 25, 26. He's going to be a top world-class defender.
What I picked up from that is that you like a player that leaves a bit in, which is no surprise to anybody, Paul.
Yep, no, I do, and I love that about him. Look, he can play, but first and foremost, he wants to defend, doesn't he? And you see some of the clips when he's away with the national team, and he's proper leaving it on people as well. So
we love that.
That's what the fans want to see, and that's what your teammates want to see as well.
Absolutely. He used to leave a bit on in training, didn't you, Dick?
Yeah. Shout out to everybody watching in Uzbekistan. We welcome you. Thank you so much for joining our Manchester City family. I imagine we have a huge following right now in Uzbekistan. Welcome to you all. Now, earlier this week, we sat down with Oscar Barbo. I cannot wait till he is fully fit and back in the squad. We gave him an iPad and we told him 5 FA Cup goals of the past, and we asked him to blind rank them. Let's see if you agree with his choices.
Hi, I'm Oscar Bob. This is my FA Cup blind ranking. Before even watching it, I think he has to go 1. They're always pinging balls to each other. See, I want to put this 2, but I don't want to leave 5. Oh. Oh, lovely ball and lovely touch. Great goal. Oh. It's a great goal, but what was the final score in this game? I'd say put it 3. I think the best thing, I think the pass and touch, and the way Jack sees it all the way. But the pass is brilliant. I don't know, pass or touch, both very difficult, very good. And the timing, yeah. They're always pinging balls to each other. Next. Oh, I've seen this. Because now they put someone under the wall, don't they? It's so clean, isn't it? And the goalkeeper's just stood still. Oh, I don't know. I think I have to put it 4. Before even watching it, I think he has to go 1.
Just over 10 seconds into an FA Cup final. Part 2 of the treble.
And what a strike. And the importance, yeah. I think he has to go 1. No question. I think with Gundo, he never like really shanks shots, or he always gets a clean strike, but that is ridiculous. It's mindset, because I think most people there try and take a touch, and it's just pure instinct. So I put it 1. So 2 and 5 left. Is it Sean Wright Phillips? Yeah. And it was the equaliser. See, I want to put this 2, but I don't want to leave 5. Do you reckon I should leave 5? Yeah, I'll put that 2. Last one. Oh, I was on the bench for this game, my first time.
What do you remember?
I remember Cole being a joke. This deserves 2. I should have waited. But it's in the early rounds, isn't it? It's the first round, isn't it? So I reckon I could have put that a bit higher, and it was like Cole's real introduction, wasn't it? Seen him do it a million times, so. But yeah, I have to put it 5. Some of these are great goals, yeah, 100%.
Thank you so much to Oscar Bob there. We can't wait to see him back in the squad very soon. Gents, did you agree with the blind ranking? Did you put Gundo as number 1?
I think Dicky was disappointed one of his goals weren't in.
So sloppy research as well. FA Cup volley against Darlington, 1998. Best goal I've ever scored in my life.
Really?
You just can't trust the producers nowadays.
That was in the FA Cup?
Yeah, FA
Well,
Cup.
I imagine if Yaya's currently watching, he's fuming as well, because, of course, he scored the big goal in the FA Cup semi-final the year we went on to win it against Manchester United.
Absolutely.
So you and Yaya.
Yeah, sloppy research. But Gundo's got to be number 1. The fact that Wembley, against United, strike, everything else.
Yeah. Everything about it. I love De Bruyne's as well. Just the way he's obviously done his research, knew the wall was going to jump, and sort of just passed it into the bottom corner. Fantastic.
So, rumour has it that they invented the draft excluder off the back of that goal.
They did. I remember sitting watching it at home, and we were talking about his football IQ before. You know, he's obviously watched the defenders before and jumping up, and then he doesn't even strike it; just passes it into the net.
It in, doesn't he?
So it's just so intelligent, so clever.
I almost wonder if Bernardo Silva's fuming that Kevin did that, because for years now the man's had to lie behind the wall on every free kick.
People pick him up and chuck him around a little bit.
Have you seen it when they literally just drag him?
It would have been the draft excluded, Dicky.
That would have been. I used to charge it. I used to be the charger on the wall, yeah.
Okay. Who would have been your draft excluder then?
Probably me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Bless you. Right, I've got a quiz for you to put your knowledge to the test.
Ooh.
First of all, I'm just throwing one in there. The producers didn't write this, but do you know why Bournemouth are called the Cherries?
No.
Oh?
No?
Apparently, according to Google, it's primarily because of their traditional cherry red striped shirts. There you go. You learn something every day, everybody. You're welcome. Let's do the proper quiz now, shall we? Right, so we have got Lots of fun to be had on this show. So we tested Oscar Bob, we'll test you now. The fixture, a City playing Bournemouth, has been a good one for City fans. We've had lots of goals that City have scored against Bournemouth over the years. So, only games against Bournemouth. I want you to give me City's top 5 goal scorers. Now, agree between the two of you, and then we'll bing them up on our lovely graphic.
Aguero's got to be in there.
Got to be.
Aguero's
When
got to
Bournemouth
be in
have
there.
been in the league.
Yeah.
Right, Aguero's got to be in there. Does he bing up? We'll see in a second. Who else are you thinking?
KDB. Foden.
Oh, number 2 for Aguero.
Phil, I can remember Phil scoring.
Phil.
Aguero got 5.
They beat him. They beat him 8 when Scott Parker was manager.
They battered him
Jesus,
a few-
did he get?
I think I remember Raheem scoring a ton load.
Yeah, he scored a last-minute winner down there. I think should we go Sterling?
Sterling.
Sterling, where do you think he's going to be?
I can just remember him scoring majority of the games against Bournemouth.
I think
if Sergio's second, I'll go Raheem first.
Possibly, yeah, you can't think of anyone else who's going to...
Very nice, Paul Dickov. Give me a number of goals. Guess.
9.
9
Wow.
goals for Raheem Sterling against Bournemouth.
Phil, you said Phil.
Got to be Foden. Surely, he must have played in
A majority
most
of
of the games, yeah.
Phil Foden. You two, I'm very impressed with you, by the way. By the way, Nick, you don't need to whisper. It's not a test.
yeah.
You're all right. Let's have a look in a minute if Phil Foden's there. And then you've got 2 more to get. There we go. 3rd place. 3rd place for Phil Foden on 4 goals. Now, just so you know, 3 players have all scored 3 goals for the last...
Jesus?
Well, except 2 out of the last 3.
Go on, you go.
Gabriel Jesus.
No. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. OK, give you another guess.
Gundo.
Gundogan, yes. 3 goals. Very good. So now you've got 2 options to fill the last spot. 2 other players that have scored 3 goals each. Shall I give you a clue?
Go on.
Currently playing today.
Erling Haaland. Are we going Erling?
It's got to be in it.
Got to be. Erling Haaland.
No.
No.
Currently playing tonight.
Kevin De Bruyne?
Yes.
Said him straight away and...
It would have been Kevin De Bruyne, or you could have had Bernardo Silva. Also playing today.
4 out of 5. Not
3
bad,
goals they've both got. I love that you got, straight away though, you had Raheem, Sergio and Phil.
Yeah.
Good memory, guys. Very impressed. Very impressed.
Well, hopefully...
There'll be
One or
somebody
two
else.
they can add to it today.
Yeah. Phil and Kevin. There you go.
I like that. After today, hopefully it'll be different. You know, goals for Kev and Bernardo would be lovely. Right, we're going to head back down now to the South Coast, where FG and Michael Brown met up earlier with the Wessex Blues.
Yes, thank you very much. As you can see, I found my way into the away section. It's with great pleasure to introduce to you all Derek, a lifelong Manchester City fan who finds himself living in Bournemouth now, by the beach, the lovely weather as well. Derek, first things first, welcome to Matchday Live. Secondly, let's start then, will we, with your love for Manchester City. Where did it all begin for you?
I moved to Wilmslow in 1987, and one of my neighbours was Neil McDowell, great City player. Neil McDowell, great City player. 3 doors away was Gordon Strachan. So it's going to be City or United. I made the right choice.
Yeah, you absolutely did make the right choice, and we're forever grateful that you did. Let's talk then, shall we, about the FA Cup, the quarter-final here at the Vitality today. How do you expect things to go?
I think it's actually going to be quite high scoring. I'm going for 2-3. Obviously 3 to City. I think City obviously leaking some goals, and Bournemouth are very good on the counter-attack, and I think they're very dangerous. But about time we score some goals as well, so I'm going for 3-2.
Yeah, I love the confidence. That's what we need just before kick-off. Let's talk then, because I imagine living in Bournemouth this week, the banter's been quite high with people you know, people you work with. What's the atmosphere been like from a Bournemouth perspective in the local areas? Are they feeling confident?
Yeah, they are feeling confident. They've only beaten City once in the last 14 attempts. Obviously, they beat us in November. They're obviously a great season. Not so good recently. They've only picked up 1 point in the last 4 games, but they're a strong side. They're at home, so they're confident. I've got a son and 2 grandsons who are massive City supporters. I have a son-in-law and 2 grandsons are in the stadium somewhere, Bournemouth supporters. So lots of rivalry. I'm impartial, as long as City win.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as City win, indeed. If we're talking about the current squad of players that we've got, then Kevin De Bruyne starting today for City as well.
Good.
Arguably, one of City's greatest, if not the greatest player. Have we got any words for Kevin?
I just hope he's fully fit, because he's obviously recently hasn't played that great deal. He's fully fit. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. World class, isn't he? I'm delighted he's playing today.
Well, Derek, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. Thank you so much for joining us on Matchday Live. I mean, if City do win, I mean, we're better to celebrate than the vitality and then a trip to the beach in the sun, eh?
Definitely.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's head back to the studio.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks so much to FG and to the Wessex Blues and, of course, all of the incredible supporters groups that City have all around the world. If you're just joining us now, welcome to Matchday Live. We are around about 15 minutes away from today's 4:30 p.m. kick-off in the FA Cup. City have travelled down south to Bournemouth, and you'll get full match commentary, of course, on the Manchester City app. If you're just joining us, the team news is below. You can see across your screen. I'll give you a quick recap now. Edison in goal. Then it's Núñez, Kusanov, Diaz and Vardiol, Gundogan, Kovacic and captain Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland. So not long now until the 4:30 p.m. kickoff, and the nerves are starting to rumble in my stomach because I love the FA Cup and I really want to know the trip to Wembley. So, gents, Nick, with just sort of 10, 15 minutes to go until kickoff, what are you thinking? What sort of game are you expecting?
Hopefully it's a good game, entertaining game, but one we don't want extra time, we don't want penalties, we don't want any stress. We want a nice early goal, one early second half, one with 10 minutes to go, nice 3-0, nice and easy, job done. We don't want any stress today.
Take that.
Oh, glorious. That sounds amazing.
I've got a funny feeling it won't quite go like that.
No, how do you think it's actually going to go?
Listen, it's going to be we know it's going to be a tough game, but we know City are capable. Bournemouth, there's a real big opportunity for someone to not only get to the semi-final, but to go on and win the Cup, especially with the way it's gone this season. So yeah, there's a lot at stake, and hopefully, City can come out on top. I believe they're going to dominate possession like, they try and do in every game they play. And they've got to take the chances when they come. We will create chances with the creativity we've got in the team, but we've got to take those chances and be tight at the back, because as we've seen this year, particularly against teams like Bournemouth, who are, they'll have real belief because of the result earlier in the season, and it's an opportunity for their fans to go deeper in this competition than they ever have. So yeah, it'll be probably more pressure on them than us, but yeah, hopefully we can get the job done.
Nick, we didn't mention the goalkeeper when we were going through the team. Of course, Edison starts today, which wouldn't raise an eyebrow for me. But of course, Stefan Ortega has been the Cup goalkeeper since he joined us. What do you make of that decision to play Edison?
Whichever goalkeeper you play, you're not strengthening or weakening the team, because I think they're both so good. Obviously, Edison over the period of the last 5, 6, 7 years has been absolutely incredible. Whenever Stefan Ortega's been asked the question and come in, he's obviously done very, very well. He's played a lot of games this year, done very well. Still, every time I see Stefan Ortega, I still think of that save at Tottenham last year, which was a title-winning save. So he's cemented his place in City folklore. But yeah, listen, I'm a huge fan of both of them. They play a different game to when I played in goal. It's completely different now. But yeah, whoever you play, you're not strengthening or weakening the team. So whoever plays, I just don't even see it as an issue. That's why I've probably not mentioned it so far.
It's the most games that Edison has played in the FA Cup in the last 6 years this season. Is that more to do, Paul, do you think, with the fact that Ortega has been playing some league games?
Yeah, I think so. And, some people look into it and say Ortega's been the number 2 the last couple of years, and he's number 2 has played in the Cup games, and they'll be saying, is Ortega now the number 1 because Ederson's played in the Cup games? But, Ederson has been out for a bit this season as well. And I just think it's game by game. Talking about controlling the ball, there's nobody better with the ball at his feet than Ederson, so maybe that's the thought process behind it today as well. I know people say goalkeepers are there to catch the ball and to stop it from going out the net, but with the team we've got in there and the footballers and the possession-based game that we're going to try and play today, maybe that's why Ederson's in just a little bit more than Stefan Ortega.
I always think a slight difference between the two. When Edison's got the ball at the feet, if Bournemouth play a really high line, Erling Haaland will be looking to spin in behind, because Edison, listen, they're both fantastic distribution, but Edison's got that sort of 70-yard zing that goes in there with pace, and we've seen him get a few assists over the last couple of years, so that might be a reason. But
there's
yeah,
no other goalkeeper that can do that, is there?
No, and Stefan Ortega's his distribution's incredible, but he's not got the 70-yard sort of zing that gets in behind. It's a little bit more floaty than than Edison's, but we're sort of nitpicking here because they're both terrific goalkeepers. But yeah, listen, Edison is sort of took goalkeeping to another level. I think he could play city midfield and look quite comfortably, couldn't he? You know, he's fantastic. I want to see him do that in a pre-season game one year. I think it's going to happen. Yeah.
What with David James?
I think he'll be a bit better than J-Mo, to be fair.
Edison is a better outfield player than J-Mo. That's what we've learned today.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
In terms of that competition between the two of them, given the fact that Ortega has played some league games this year and we've seen Edison's played more FA Cup games than he has in the last 6 years this season, do you think that keeps the competition factor a lot higher this year? Yeah,
because you're going into games guessing a little bit. You're not sure exactly what he's going to do. In recent years, it generally has been Edison plays unless he's been injured. This year, Edison's coming for a little bit of criticism. Again, as a few of them have, because of the high standards he's set himself. Suddenly a few goals go in, he get a little bit criticised. But listen, he's still, for me, he's still your number one. You know, and I think he is Pep's as well. But like I said, there's no weakening the team if you put Stefan Ortega in. And yeah, they're both good characters, good goalkeepers, and yeah, it's a different type of goalkeeping than when I played. But yeah, more than comfortable with either of them playing. But yeah, good to see Edison playing today, no doubt.
I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to both think about your score predictions. Obviously, big one today, serious stuff, give it some real thought. While we let the gents think, we're going to go back over to the South Coast to hear our final thoughts from FG and Michael Brown.
Yes, welcome back to the Vitality. The sun is shining, Brown. It's still shining really well off your face. We're in front of the away section. It's filling up a little bit. Our players are doing their final shooting drills. How are we feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I just watched Phil Forden bring one down, turn, pivot, put one in the bottom corner. Fabulous finish, lovely strike there. It's just nice, isn't it, getting a feel, getting to see what the players at concentration levels we talk about so much as Erling just strokes one past Scott Carson into the corner. It's a great day for football. Look at the fans are out in force as usual. And it's a great opportunity to get to Wembley. That's what we want.
And I've just heard, I mean, amongst the Kevin De Bruyne, there's a pocket of supporters behind us singing about Michael Brown over there. How do you feel about that, Brownie?
Yeah, well, you know, it just occasionally happens, doesn't it? Every now and then you do get recognised for some good work. It doesn't often happen, FG, but no, it's nice. You know what? These fans are just desperate for a bit of success to get through. The trophy's there, isn't it? You look at the format, you look at what's left. These players will want to win something. We talk about how many times serial winners gets mentioned so many times, doesn't it? Because of the manager, because of the desires in this team here now. We always seem to come around this sort of final drill, don't we now? That last little fast feet, some little sprints, some little strides, get what you need out of it, and then, you know, we're nearly ready to go.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to see this weekly. This is the moment where the players motivate each other. They go through a final sprint, a final segment of the warm-up. The warm-ups are very much the same every week, aren't they, in respect to this? But one thing that we always mention is how much these players get a game face on. It means a lot to them, and they'll be looking at the rest of the FA Cup and the teams left in it saying, if we can win today, it's a real opportunity for us.
Yeah, they know that, but they also understand. What I like about this side, for however much they've won, however much they've been through, they always respect the opposition first. They have every look to see what the dangers are, and they impose a lot of threat, this Bournemouth side now. And I know still people are thinking it's Bournemouth, but this is a different Bournemouth that we've been used to for so many years, especially at this stadium. They can put you right under pressure. They've got great energy, great momentum, and by the way, they've got quality. So respect them, and then it's about what we can do. They know now. It's always that moment where you get a little spring in your step as you head over, and you're really ready then, rearing to go for kick-off.
Yeah, kick-off is fast approaching. We'll be hearing from you at half-time, and hopefully be hearing a lot of noise from the normal away section and the extra bit, which is the allocation for the Cup. Let's head back to the studio.
Thank you to FG and to Michael Brown. I love the fans there singing about Michael Brown after all this time. I love that. We never forget. We never forget. Gents, I bet you've never forgot the songs that were sung about you. Is there a favourite that we used to sing about you?
They're pretty boring.
PG ones only?
PG ones, yeah. There's a lot that rhymed with my name on there, but I used to get. But it was just one Paul Dickov, because that was it, really.
And it said all it needed to.
Yeah.
Yes. Nicky?
Yeah, there was a couple, but obviously we're PG, so yeah, quite boring, the PG ones. It would have just been a Weaver if I made a save. But yeah, there's one that pops up every now and then when the fans are travelling on trains and stuff like that people have great pleasure in sending me.
That we absolutely cannot repeat on this show. But we know they won. All the City fans from back in the day know exactly they won and are chuckling away to themselves right now. Gents, before we finish, I'd like a score prediction from you both. Paul Dickov, the first time I have ever heard you say you were a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous, but not too much. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win.
In 90?
In 90 minutes, yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm
You're
confident
nervous?
with the team. Confident with the team. The experience I keep going on about it out there today. They know how to win big cup games. They know how to get to Wembley. So, yeah, Manchester City 3-1.
Nick?
Just to be slightly different, I'm going to go 2-1.
Nervy or?
Well, it's always nervy. You know, they never do it the easy way. But yeah, 2-1. But as long as we get it done in 90, that's all that matters.
Nicky Weaver, words that rhyme with your name for songs. Thank you very much for being here today. Paul Dickov. Yes, words that rhyme with your name for your songs.
Yeah,
thank you for being here today.
Yeah.
Thank you to FG and Michael Brown down in Bournemouth. Thank you all for watching Matchday Live. It's now time to hand over. If you're not watching on the Manchester City app, get yourself on there now for full match commentary from Alistair Mann and from Michael Brown. We'll be back at half-time and then at full-time, where hopefully we are talking about Manchester City reaching their 7th FA Cup semi-final in a row.
Very warm welcome to the Vitality Stadium, and it is a warm